Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. This afternoon, I am off for an early screening of the new Disney film, Wish. So what is the plot of this film? Well, the trailer's a little bit on the vague part, okay? So it kind of goes like this. A young woman makes a wish on a star, and apparently the wish does come true, but the star comes down to Earth, or whatever planet they're on, and hangs out with her, I guess. And they go on an adventure. Look, man, it's Disney, okay? It's like whimsy and fun and fairy tale-ish. That's what I'm expecting from this film. I've only really seen the teaser trailer for this movie, to be honest. Oh, and I watched an interview with Chris Pine. Chris Pine plays the villain in this story. I want to say that he's called like a wish keeper or something like that. Like he holds on to the people's wishes so he can make sure they're taken care of or something like that, like a wish caretaker. Well, he of course has a villain song in this movie also. And you know what? I agree with Master Splinter. Chris Pine is the best of the Chris's. Well, myself aside, that is. Chris Pine is second best in the Chris's. I'm really looking forward to this movie, guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I am a fan of Disney. I mean, this is legit. This is a Disney mug. This is from Disney World. I picked this up back when I was a kid, the first time I went to Disney World in the early 80s, 81 maybe? Oh boy. Anyways guys, Disney's been a big part of my life, and I really enjoy Disney films. And I'm really looking forward to this one too, because the animation style looks awesome. It looks like Disney is moving away from their traditional 3D animation style that they've been using now for 20 years, I want to say? I don't think it's... I can't remember when Princess and the Frog came out, to be perfectly honest, but I believe that was the last 2D animated film that Disney has done, and this one is a blend of the 3D and 2D, much like the Ninja Turtles, what was the other one? Bad Guys, Puss in Boots, they do that also. And of course, you know, the number one star of the entire thing, Into the Spider-Verse films, they all do that mix of 3D and 2D animation. It seems to be where animation is headed, and it looks like Disney is finally going to stick their big toe into this new form. That's the thing I like about Disney, honestly, is they may not be always super innovative in their animation style, but when something picks up and it starts going, they kind of get in there and they give it their own twist, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying they're dominating or they try to rip people off or anything like that. It just seems like they kind of anymore sit back and wait to kind of see what the next big thing is going to be, and then they kind of sneak their way in there and do their own thing. Anyways, that's just me. Alright, so it's time for me to stop yammering because I gotta get out the door. I need to go see the new movie, Wish. Welcome back. Just getting home from checking out Wish, and guys, this was a really cute movie. I did enjoy it. I had a good time with this film. Okay, so we're going to do this like I like to do. We're going to get things started with negatives and then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. The one big negative I would have to say in the film is the villain. Not Chris Pine's performance, Chris Pine does just fine. It's the fact that I'm really getting tired of the sympathetic villain. I mean, I've had enough, alright? Can we just have a villain who's evil for the sake of being evil? You know, the good old good versus evil, just because they're good and evil? Why do we always have to feel sympathy for the villain? Disney, enough is enough. It's okay. Let's bring back Jafar. Enough with the sympathetic villain. I want bad guys again. I want bad guys. I want Ursula. Let's get out of this sympathetic villain thing. And in this movie, I guess you wouldn't say he's necessarily 100% sympathetic villain, but he's definitely one of those, but I had your best interest in mind for you. I thought I was doing the right thing. What is it? A good intentions villain. And it's really, I'm tired of it. It's not necessarily character development at this point or characterization. It's a trope. Every Disney villain has this trope, and it's time to put the trope aside and just bring back villains. And also, the story of this film is a little on the weak side. It's not winning any kind of writing awards anytime soon. It is not necessarily a very deep tale. It's a fun tale. It's something to enjoy and just have a good time with. It's not extremely deep. There's not a lot going on here. It is meant to be fun, and it does deliver in that category. So that moves us into the positives. That's really, in my opinion, the two weakest things about this is necessarily the villain isn't necessarily the most villainy, and the story isn't the strongest I've seen from Disney. Now that moves us into the positives, and that is the animation. This movie is beautiful. I loved the animation in this film. I liked the style. It was going for the 3D, 2D model, and it pulls it off seamlessly. There are some moments where the characters look like full CGI models, and then they go right into a 2D kind of design, and I loved it. It looked great. Also, the film isn't like super bright and colorful. It has a more muted pastel color to it, like a watercolor painting, and it really sets it aside from a lot of other things that Disney has done in the past. It's not very bright, but it is colorful, don't get me wrong. It reminded me really of the old storybooks and fairy tale books I used to see when I was a kid. It had that same kind of art style to it, but still keeping the Disney idea at its core. The film also delivers in plenty of Easter eggs and fun shout-outs for fans. There's some deep ones, there's some very in-your-face, oh my god, I can't believe you didn't catch that one kind of Easter eggs. But guys, this is the 100-year anniversary film, so it's gonna definitely have a ton of shout-outs. But it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't really drag the film down. They're mostly just in the background, or they pop up here and there just to kind of give you a wink and a nod, and it moves on. It's nothing that really, drags the film down, in my opinion. Also, the voice acting is great. Everyone does an outstanding job. I've already talked about Chris Pine, who has a very good singing voice, by the way. And also, Alan Tudyk, he's great. He plays the character Valentino, who's the plucky sidekick that's in every one of our Disney animated films. And let's just say Alan does an excellent job. The character was probably one of my favorite characters in the entire film. Yeah, I liked the talking goat the most. Second was probably the star that doesn't talk at all. Those two cracked me up through the entire film. One scene in particular with Valentino the goat, but let's just say I believe Star Guy, I don't know what his name is, just Star, and Valentino, we're going to see some plushies moving off the shelves this holiday season. I do believe they're going to be the stars of the show. Also, our lead, Adriana DeBose, I think I got that right. Ariana DeBose. Excellent. Oh my god, the woman's voice is amazing. She can sing so well, and she is definitely given her big Disney ballad that we're going to hear kids singing forever, that big power song. Now that brings me to the music of this film. The music's pretty good. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it's the strongest outing I've seen from Disney in the music department, but one thing I noticed, it felt more like a large stage musical rather than a typical Disney animated film musical. There wasn't as many solo songs as there was a lot of big group numbers or small group numbers in this. And I thought that was a little bit different for Disney. I'm used to seeing more solo songs, like each character kind of gets their own song. The lead character kind of has something they do throughout the entire film, and that's pretty much it. But in this one, there was a lot of group numbers, in my opinion. It made it feel more like a Broadway musical and less like a Disney movie, and I kind of liked that. I mean, they were big dance numbers and such. It was really cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it kind of set the film aside a little bit, even though the songs may not have been as catchy as We Don't Talk About Bruno. This is not necessarily what I'm going to call a absolute Disney classic, but I do think that it was a solid outing for Disney and definitely a fun holiday film to get out there and see for the whole family. So what is my rating? What do I think? Well, guys, if you have a family, I think that this is a great matinee film. Don't necessarily go at night when you got to pay full price, okay? I understand, man. It's hard out there. I get you. It's hard. But if you want to take the whole family out, go see a nice matinee. Take them to see this film. The kids are going to have a great time, and they're probably going to be singing the songs on the way home from the movie. And that's what we want during the holidays, right? Kids happy in the cars when we're driving around. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.